Have you ever looked into your dog's eyes during illness and wondered, are they in pain, or are they just tired? What if I told you that when a dog has parvo, what they're experiencing isn't just sickness, it's something far deeper, far more intense, and heartbreakingly misunderstood? You might have seen it before. Your dog suddenly becomes quiet. They stop eating. They don't greet you at the door. They curl up in a corner, as if trying to disappear. At first, it just feels like a bad day. Maybe an upset stomach. Maybe they'll bounce back tomorrow. But then, it gets worse. They vomit. They have diarrhea. Their body weakens. And the most painful part? They stop being themselves. If you've ever gone through this, you know the feeling. That helplessness. That confusion. You sit next to your dog, calling their names softly, hoping for even the smallest sign of their usual spark. And when they barely respond, it breaks something inside you. But here's the part most people don't fully understand. Your dog isn't just physically sick. They are experiencing something much more complex. Because dogs don't experience pain the way humans do. They don't complain. They don't cry out for attention in obvious ways. They endure. Silently. And that silence often hides the true intensity of what they're going through. Parvo, or canine parvovirus, attacks your dog's body in one of the most aggressive ways possible. It targets the gut, the immune system, the very core of their ability to survive. But the pain isn't just about the physical damage. It's about how their body and mind respond to it. Imagine this for a moment. Your dog's stomach feels like it's constantly cramping. Sharp. Unpredictable. Relentless. They feel nauseous, but they don't understand why. Their body is rejecting food, even though their instincts tell them to eat. They're dehydrated, but too weak to move. And every time they try to rest, their body interrupts them with discomfort. But here's where it gets even deeper. Dogs are incredibly in tune with their bodies. More than we are. They don't intellectualize pain. They feel it fully. There's no, "this will pass," in their mind. No, "I'll be okay tomorrow." There is only the present moment. And in that moment, if they're suffering, it feels endless. That's the psychological weight of parvo. Not just pain, but unrelieved pain. Now think about how your dog usually behaves. They look to you for safety, for reassurance, for stability. You are their anchor. But when parvo hits, something shifts. They may stop seeking comfort. They may turn away. They may isolate themselves. And this is where many owners misunderstand what's happening. It can feel like your dog is giving up or becoming distant. But the truth is, this is an instinct. In the wild, when a dog is severely ill, they separate from the group. Not because they don't care, but because vulnerability feels dangerous. Their body tells them, hide. Stay quiet. Conserve energy. So when your dog pulls away during parvo, it's not rejection. It's survival. And yet, even in that state, they still know you're there. Even if they don't lift their head. Even if they don't wag their tail. They hear your voice. They recognize your presence. And somewhere, beneath the exhaustion and pain, there is still connection. There's something incredibly powerful about that. Because it means that even when your dog seems distant, they are not alone. And neither are you. Now let's talk about the emotional side of this, because it's something most people overlook. Dogs experience emotional stress alongside physical illness. When their body is under attack, their brain responds with confusion and anxiety. They don't understand why they feel this way. They don't understand why their body is failing them. All they know is, something is wrong. And when dogs don't understand something, they look for familiarity. That's why your presence matters more than you realize. Even if they don't show it. Even if they can't respond. Your voice, your scent, your proximity. It becomes a quiet form of comfort. Not loud. Not obvious. But real. There was a dog once, weak from parvo, who hadn't moved in hours. No tail wag. No eye contact. Just stillness. The owner sat beside them, gently talking, not expecting anything. And after a long time, something small happened. The dog's ear twitched. Just slightly. Almost unnoticeable. But it was there. A response. A recognition. A reminder that even in deep suffering, connection doesn't disappear. It just becomes quieter. And that's what makes Parvo so emotionally intense, not just for the dog, but for you. Because you're watching someone you love go through something you can't fully fix in that moment. You want to take the pain away. You want to explain to them that help is coming. That they're going to be okay. But you can't say those words in a way they understand. So you do the only thing you can. You stay. And here's the truth. That matters more than you think. Because while your dog may not understand medicine, they understand presence. They understand energy. They understand love. And during Parvo, those things become anchors in a storm they can't control. Now let's go even deeper into what your dog might actually be feeling. Not just physically, but internally. There's fatigue. Heavy, overwhelming fatigue. The kind that makes even lifting their head feel like effort. There's confusion. Why don't I feel normal? Why doesn't food taste right? Why does my body hurt? There's discomfort that comes in waves, unpredictable, exhausting. And then there's something else. A quiet instinct to endure. Dogs don't dramatize pain. They adapt to it. They shrink their world down to the smallest possible space. And focus on getting through each moment. That's why they become still. That's why they conserve energy. That's why they don't react the way we expect. It's not weakness. It's a form of strength we don't always recognize. Now here's the key takeaway that changes everything. When your dog has Parvo, they are not just sick. They are navigating intense physical pain, emotional confusion, and instinct-driven behavior, all at once. And the way they show it is subtle, quiet, easy to misread. So when you see your dog lying there, not moving, not responding, don't assume they don't feel you. Don't assume they don't know you're there. Because even in that state, your presence is something they can still hold on to. Even if it's the faintest thread. And maybe, that's the most powerful part of all. Because love, for dogs, isn't always loud. It's not always tail wags and excitement. Sometimes, it's stillness. Sometimes, it's simply existing in the same space. Trusting. Enduring. Holding on. So if you ever find yourself sitting beside a dog going through Parvo, feeling helpless, wishing you could do more, remember this. You are already doing something important. You are giving them something they understand, even in pain. And in a moment where everything feels uncertain. That quiet connection might be the one thing that makes them feel just a little less alone. And sometimes, in the middle of suffering, that's everything.